How's it going, guys? You've been asking for it in the comments all too well, the short film, so I'm going to be watching it. I wanted to do it a few days ago, but I was a little bit under the weather. Can you tell my voice? Does it sound a little congested? Does it still sound good, though? I hope so. So yeah, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to do a reaction to it. If you don't know, I feel like I don't say this enough. I produce music and I'm a songwriter, and I do a lot of just musical stuff, but I'm mostly here to just share my perspective as a music listener. But I obviously have the ears of a producer and a songwriter, so some of that's going to come in sometimes, but I'm not going to like force my perspective as those things into this song too much, because I feel like that makes it a little bit unrelatable, so to speak. But it also, you know, at the end of the day, music is made to be listened to. So I feel like the better I get as a musician and songwriter and all that stuff, really the better of a music listener I become. So it's really, it's really about that at the end of the day. So I will be listening as a music listener who just happens to do a bunch of music stuff as well. Let's hit that play button and see what I think. I'll keep it real. I don't have the context that some of you guys do on these Taylor Swift songs, but this is my first time hearing this, and you know, I've been kind of getting into Taylor Swift a little more because of these reactions and the positivity to them. And so yeah, we're just gonna hit that space bar and see what I think.
Are you for real?
What do you mean?
I don't know, I just feel like maybe I made you up.
I walked to the door with you. The air was cold, but something about it felt like home somehow. And I left my scarf there at your sister's house, and you still got it in your drawer even now.
Okay. I like how this song's starting out. It's very warm and cozy, and the drums and the bass come in, and they're kind of fat. This is the drums and bass low-key are kind of fat. That's nice. I like it when a soft song hits hard, you know? That's great. It's really good when a soft song hits hard.
Sweet disposition and my wide-eyed gaze. We're singing in the car, getting lost upstate. Autumn leaves falling down like pieces into place, and I can picture it after all these days. And I know it's long gone and that magic's not here no more, and I might be okay, but I'm not fine at all.
That's a good song.
'Cause there we are again on that little town street. You almost ran the red 'cause you were looking over at me. Wind in my hair, I was there. I remember it all too well.
I'm getting dizzy. Not really. There's something about kissing scenes. I don't know what it is. I just it feels weird to watch. Like if you were watching two people just in public like actually kiss, would you just stare at them? You know, like that would be super weird. So I almost it feels like I'm doing that when I watch a scene like that. But I get it. I get the effect of it and everything, and I'm fine. It's not actually as awkward as staring at somebody in the park like kissing that way. But it feels like that just a little bit for me. I can tell that I already like this song. Sometimes there's been a couple of Taylor Swift songs, and you know, this is the thing, like she has such a big career and so many songs that have been like top 40 radio hits, and I think some of the songs are designed to be more like catchy pop songs that aren't really lyrically or melodically maybe that complex or interesting. And for me as a music producer, maybe a lot of those elements are just like predictable, you know, where I can literally almost think of what the next word or the next note or the next chord is going to be, and for me it's just kind of like but sometimes the song still has those things, and it can still like kind of please me in a way. But this isn't really necessarily one of those songs. This is just a cool song that moves nicely. The melody and the just kind of everything is like more interesting. And I did a reaction to her song recently. What was it? You guys have to look back and see what the song was or something. But I didn't love it. Oh my God! I hate this. This happens sometimes during my reactions. I can't remember the name. I'll just cut to the point where I remember. I'm going to take a second. I'll just cut to it so that you guys don't have to wait. Oh my God. Oh, it was Wildest Dreams. Okay, there. Just in time, so I didn't have to cut anything. Yeah, I didn't love that song. It was just kind of an okay song to me, for those reasons that I sort of described earlier. I like this song a lot better already, and I'm sure that I will feel that way throughout the, the majority, if not the whole song. Just everything about it's a little bit more interesting. The lyrics, the words, kind of the same thing. I don't know why I said lyrics and words. But yeah, just kind of all the elements of this song just do a little more for me than Wildest Dreams did, so to speak. So yeah, let's keep listening, just keeping you up to date with how I'm feeling. That's so funny. Do you guys hear that on the left side? There's like almost like it's like an out of tune violin or fiddle or something. They're basically the same instrument. It's just how they're played, but it sounds almost out of tune a little bit. And it's so quiet that it almost sounds like a harmonica the way that it's being played. That's so weird. It's a little bit out of tune. That's why it catches my ear. It's super quiet though. That's strange. Why are they doing that? That kind of throws me off. I'm a little disoriented by that decision. But again, it's very quiet, and I imagine a lot of people would never hear that. That's so weird. Okay.
Photo album on the counter. Your cheeks were turning red. You used to be a little kid with glasses in a twin-sized bed. And your mother's telling stories about you on the t-ball team. You told me about your past, thinking your future was me. And you were tossing me the car keys, fuck the patriarchy. Keychain on the ground. We were always skipping town. And I was thinking on the drive down anytime now. He's gonna say it's love. You never called it what it was. Till we were dead and gone and buried. Check the pulse and come back swearing it's the same. After 3 months in the grave. And then you wondered where it went to as I reached for you. But all I felt was shame. And you held my lifeless frame.
Held my lifeless frame. That's a good line. Huh. It's hard also when you're doing a reaction to like know where to pause. But I just have to pause because it's about the reaction. Oh yeah, I was just gonna say it's I say this sometimes, but it's a little bit tricky to on a reaction like take everything in, like all the music, all the lyrics, and then this reaction has such a visual component to it as well. There's like a story visually that tells part of the tale of the song and stuff. So I'm just trying to take it all in. Maybe I'll have something to say about what I'm seeing as well as what I'm hearing.
Why are you so pissed off?
I'm not pissed off. Who said I was pissed off?
Because you're acting pissed off. It's ridiculous. These are my friends. They were super fucking nice to you, too.
No, I liked your friends. I never said I didn't like your friends.
Why
I
were
didn't
you
like the way that you acted around them.
You were being weird and quiet the entire time.
I was not being weird because you wouldn't
Yes, you
look at me.
were. Oh, come on.
You
that's
asked me one thing the entire night.
such bullshit. That's such bullshit.
You dropped my fucking hand. What am I supposed to do with that?
I didn't even fucking notice. What are you talking
I
about?
don't
I
know
dropped your
any
hand.
of these people. They're all strangers. They're all older than me.
But like, what are you
I
talking
feel so out of place. You're the only one
You're
that makes
making
me
this
feel
about
comfortable.
you.
You won't
I'm
even
like,
look at me.
I'm catching up with friends. You're literally saying I dropped your hand. Like, what? I don't even remember the moment that you're talking about. How can you be like attacking me about something I don't even like fucking know? I was doing it subconsciously. I was catching up
Don't
with
do
people.
that. Dude, you're making me feel fucking stupid.
Holy shit. I don't think I'm making you feel that way. I think you're making yourself feel that way. Literally a moment that I don't even fucking remember that you're like fucking like holding me hostage over. It's insane. It's fucking crazy. These are people I haven't seen in like 10 years. And you just sit there the entire fucking time. It was fun. I actually had a fucking blast.
Oh, this is an interesting moment of like kind of miscommunication and conflict or something. I wonder where this is going to develop, but it seems to sort of reveal like, I don't know, is this like a classic thing that sort of happens between guys and girls? I don't know. I feel like I can kind of relate to both perspectives or something. So I'm a little bit surprised that like one of them, well, I mean, these are just like two people in a story, but I'm sure this happens sometimes anyway. But it's interesting to think that like they're both kind of just standing by their perspective without seeing the other side so much. Like both sides are pretty understandable in their own way. Like if I was, I don't know, sometimes I'm catching up with a bunch of friends and like just holding a hand might just feel like a distraction to me or something. It's, I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily mean it that kind of way, you know? But also if the communication was better or something, that kind of thing could probably happen. It wouldn't be an issue. It just, you know, maybe in my case, like, you know, if I had a girlfriend in that instant, it would be like, oh, he just doesn't feel like holding my hand right now. No big deal. You know, it's not a sign of like a red flag in the relationship or something like that. And I'm going to guess that in her case, since he is saying that moment is so insignificant, like, why would you hold it against me? He's, that's almost part of the problem for her. Like the fact that he doesn't remember that at all, but it was so significant for her. And, you know, she feels like a stranger in this situation. It also kind of sucks hanging out with, your friends that you don't know. And like your friend has all this, you know, dynamic developed with, the circle of friends that they have. And you're just kind of there. And maybe you're not having a bad time, but you're not like connected, you know, they have all these roots and you just don't have these roots with them. You have the roots with the person that you're there with, but you don't have anything in the dynamic. And they might even ask you questions and stuff, but I don't know. They're just, a lot of the times the connection just isn't there. In the best case, it's just kind of neutral and you walk away feeling like, oh, you know, at least I did some social things or whatever, you know, you had the social time, but did it really have any meaning or depth for you? Probably not. So I can relate to her in that situation too, but let's see where this goes.
Now this is the night. Now we're doing this. Awesome. So fucking awesome.
You just treated me differently.
What do you mean I treated you differently?
You didn't even look at me once.
What are you
didn't look at
talking
me.
about? I didn't look at you.
No,
I'm catching up with my
Oh,
friends.
trust me, they were enthralled by you, of course.
I'm so, you're literally making the entire night about you.
You didn't even look at me.
Holy shit, I can't. It's fucking selfish. It's literally like, it's so crazy.
Oh,
You're
so
making
you're
it about,
selfish now.
yes,
Selfish
you're making
now.
it about, you're acting, I'm saying you're acting selfish. Absolutely. Right now, that's exactly what's happening. Don't fucking look at me like that. That's so fucked up.
I'm really, really curious how you guys feel about the moment that's playing out here. Like, do you guys side with her? Do you think she has every right to be angry? Or do you guys feel like the guy is just being attacked and not being understood or something? I'm really just curious how you feel. For me, I can kind of see both sides, so I don't really feel any particular way, but the fact that the conflict develops this much is kind of a sign of like, I don't know, a struggle to communicate. I think that's one thing that's interesting between guys and girls too, is like certain things just have a more profound emotional impact on girls than it will for guys. And likewise, you know, the reverse is true as well. And I think it can be hard sometimes for the other, you know, the guy or the girl to like relate to why that would bother you in that way or why you would take it this way. You know how sometimes you just really feel like the other person should understand how you feel because to you it's so obvious. And for some things that's just true across the board, regardless of gender or sex or whatever you want to call it. Don't make me get into some PC argument about gender or sex. That's not what this is about. But you know what I mean? Like sometimes you just think that they should know. Like, why don't they get it? And I think sometimes guys and girls have those things, but there's just certain things for guys and for girls that are only relatable, maybe more so for guys than they are for girls and vice versa. So I think this is kind of playing off of one of those things. That's why they're both upset that the other person is getting upset, you know?
Hey. Come on. I don't want to fight. Come on. I'm sorry. I dropped your hand. Come on. Sorry.
And I know it's long.
Huh, that was sweet. Right, good save. It's like, I'm sorry that the thing I did bothered you that much, even though I didn't think anything of it. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah, and she could have done the same thing, right? Like, I'm sorry that I got so upset about this one thing, but no, I think this played out just fine. That's cool. Yeah, that's great.
Garden, there was nothing else I could do, and I forget
Yeah, not
about
everything, you know, that happens has to make
Just
sense
get away.
logically. Yeah, sometimes things just have to make sense emotionally, and they have nothing to do with logic, and that can be really frustrating sometimes. And so sometimes you just have to realize that, like, relating to something or making sense of something emotionally is completely legitimate, even if it doesn't logically make sense. I think that one thing I'll say for guys is that I think I've noticed this in myself, and this is something that has been like a stage of my personal growth, I would say, as a guy is that there was at some point I realized that emotions are just as valid as logic. I used to think that logic was always more important than emotion because logic just made logical sense, you know, like kind of in a way it sort of has like a mathematical sense to it, and emotions don't necessarily. And so it's easy to discount emotions when they don't add up logically. And I think guys can actually end up suppressing emotions a lot or not respecting emotions a lot just because they sort of put logic on this hierarchy over emotions. But as someone that's, you know, well, I don't really know as someone that's what, but for whatever reason, I've become more aware and appreciative and respectful of emotions and how chaotic and illogical they can be. And I think just as a human growing, that is something that you have to learn to accept. But if you're on the other side of the coin, you know, you have to respect logic as well. There's a harmony there that has to be met. And I think actually like when guys and girls really master their communication between each other, they can really have a lot to show each other about both sides, because I think stereotypically girls resonate a little bit more on the emotional side of the spectrum and guys on the logical side of the spectrum. And that's where a lot of the conflict and the miscommunication can happen. But both sides have a lot to learn from each other in that way, for sure. In the refrigerator light, it just makes me think like what you left the fridge open. That's such a waste of energy. Oh, it's so funny. Huh. I like that she brought that idea back in about break me like a promise, because earlier she said hold you like a secret. Break me like a promise. That's cool that I don't know. There's kind of a reflection going on there that I appreciate. Held me like a secret. Sometimes I talk about like how cliches really turn me off, and you could kind of say that that's a cliche, but I just don't feel that way about it. Hold me like a secret. Now that one's good. That one's good, and it feels pretty original. Break me like a promise. That's pretty good too. Yeah, I like that. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to point out something about Taylor's vocals here. So a lot of the, well, I don't remember if earlier this was happening or not, but now I'm noticing that her vocals, it feels like she's pushing them more, not necessarily like in a way that feels really clean, but it feels like a little bit forced and exhausted. And I think the effect that that has is maybe intentional here. Or just natural, you know, maybe it just happened naturally and it worked well with the song. That kind of thing happens all the time. But she sounds like she's straining a little bit here, but the song, you know, the context of it is appropriate here. Like she's hurt and she's breaking, and her voice is kind of doing the same thing. It's almost like she's singing through tears a little bit. You can hear it in her voice, and they leave the breaths. Like you can hear her take like a pretty loud breath in between some of the words, and they leave that in. A lot of songs take that out or mute them or actually drop the voice of them down a little bit, the volume, I mean. I do that. Sometimes if you just take the breath out entirely, it leaves like a little bit too much silence and it feels unnatural. So I leave a little bit in, but I take it out. I take like maybe 70% of it out or something, just so that it's not competing for your attention, but it fills the space naturally without really distracting you. But here they're kind of leaving it at a level that almost does grab your attention in a way, so that you hear that she's like gasping for air between certain words. Just listen to it here. It happens a lot. Yeah, crumpled down piece of paper, you know? I can kind of imagine her like wiping tears and like yelling into the microphone. It's pretty cool. Like that's how I think about it, because, you know, of the words and all the emotional buildup. So it feels like it works in this song. I might not feel that way on some other tracks. It might just feel like, wow, why didn't they take that out? But in here it works. I accept that. Yeah, I wonder why. For you to say all, like the way that she's doing it, I feel like it shouldn't take like a full breath like that. So I really do feel like the intention of it is actually to have this effect of strain. Yeah, like she got through that entire sentence without one breath. So it just kind of seems funny that she did that all. It wasn't like she was yelling or belting those out really much anyway. So I'm just going to guess that those breaths were there for that emotional effect to some degree. Oh, double crossed my mind. My brain processed that like a second late. There's so much going on and I'm pausing and kind of, you know, trying to remember. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, that's a good line too. Double crossed my mind. That was clever. I'll say one more thing real quick. I like how her voice is in the mix. I've heard some Taylor songs where her voice is like so loud on top of the other instruments, where it's almost like her voice is the only thing that matters in the song. And a lot of pop songs are like that, and that bothers me, because it's like, damn, let the music have its place a little bit. But I think a lot of pop music has gotten to the point where people don't really care about anything except like the catchy hook. But that's kind of like more on the music marketing side of thing. They just have everything happening in the background, but it's really just about that one thing in the foreground to get your attention. But this song doesn't feel like it's doing that so much. It sucks when songs do that. It's such a nasty compromise to make just to maximize the marketability of your song. Because I feel like it loses the musical quality. You end up just making the music sound like a product, you know? And the highlight of the product is just like whatever the catchy lyric is that's going to get stuck in your head. So they just try to make sure you hear that no matter how quiet it is or where it's playing. Like you're going to hear the voice and it's going to get stuck in your head. But this song doesn't feel like it's mixed that way, and that's nice, because I've heard a few Taylor songs that definitely are.
Time won't fly, it's like I'm paralyzed by it. I'd like to be my old self again, but I'm still trying to find it. After plaid shirt days and nights when you made me your own, now you mail back my things and I walk home alone. But you keep my old scarf from that very first week, 'cause it reminds you of innocence and it smells like me. Get rid of it, 'cause you remember it all too well. 'Cause there we are again, when I loved you so, back before you lost the one real I was there, I remember it all too well. And I was never good at telling jokes, but the punchline goes, I'll get older, but your lovers stay my age. From when your Brooklyn broke my skin and bones, I'm a soldier who's returning half her weight. And did the twin flame bruise pain?
Wow, the song took a real different turn, like musically at this point. I wanted to pause early, but the song was had so much momentum, I didn't really want to interrupt it. She kept saying all too well, and it was just it's cool to see like the concept of the song reinforced like that. It's a very well done song. I respect the production of it as well as just all the other creativity behind it. Yeah, and just the function of a storytelling work of art. Like it works. It's great. Then she said, "You remember it all. You remember it all." Just a clever play, you know. And then all too well. Yeah, it's just very well done. So I just wanted to pause and like reflect on that real quick.
You blew. Just between us did the love affair maim you too? 'Cause in this city's barren cold, I still remember the first fall of snow and how it glistened as it
I was wondering if it was her. I was thinking it probably was when I saw her like putting on earrings. Was it in the mirror like a minute ago? I was thinking that might be Taylor. Seems like an appropriate ending.
just between us did the love affair maim you all too well. Just between us, do you remember it all too well? Just between us, I remember
The scarf.
all too
Okay, I imagine the rest of the song is going to kind of play out like this. I wonder if it's going to have one of those special endings or something like that. So I guess I'll just talk over it a little bit and something else comes up. That's a nice thing about being an artist, right? You have all this pain, but you have a kind of a special purpose for it, I guess. And in this story, she ends up writing a book or something. But I guess you could say something like, you know, that her career is sort of similar. I mean, a lot of her songs are love songs and they speak from personal experience. It's just cool to see her at the end, because I feel like her at the end doing that book signing and storytelling thing, it's kind of similar. It's like another alternate reality where she had a career sort of based on her, just her love life, so to speak. Yeah, it's nice as a coping mechanism to have an artistic outlet that sort of gives your suffering purpose beyond just suffering and torturing you. You know, you can kind of turn it into something beautiful. And I've had that happen for my music as well. And it just feels really wonderful to be able to do that, because you have all these things in your head and these stories you can tell, but when they're real for you and you can kind of repurpose them in like a relatable way that just changes the way that you process it, changes the way that you feel it, but also it becomes something bigger than just something that you have to deal with or like a pain that you have to bear. It becomes like a real piece of art, and that just changes the way that it affects you. Yeah, just for that sake alone, I kind of encourage people to have some kind of creative outlet for their pain, like whether it just be even be something simple like poetry or songwriting. They're very similar. Could be anything though. Could just be like getting a big canvas, a big oil canvas, and just like throwing buckets of paint at it. A lot of ways that things can be expressed and interpreted, but I'll keep playing this and see what the end of it is about. It's probably just credits, right? I don't want to miss anything, but I also don't want to just leave it hanging for the rest of the time. I'll just let it play out. That's all good. If something comes up, I'll pause it. And if not, then I'll just be talking with a little bit of background music. Ooh, cold breeze. Wish I had a red scarf. I think I own one scarf. Do I? Did somebody make me a scarf and I like never wore it or really ever found a purpose for it, but I just kept it because like I'm not going to throw away a scarf that somebody made me, you know? Kind of a man would I be? Okay, that looks like that's it. Yeah? Okay. All right. Well, that was great. Yeah, that was really cool. Thanks for talking me into watching that. I had no idea that that was coming out, so I appreciate that you guys bring it to my attention, but I also really appreciate that you guys wanted to see my reaction on it. So yeah, that was great. That was a great piece of art. I'd totally put that up there with all the work that I really respected off of the Folklore and Evermore albums. Great songwriting. I don't know how old that song is. I think this is from a little while ago, right? I don't know if this is, let me see. I'll look at this on my other screen here. All Too Well. Taylor Swift. Original recording. Is Taylor Swift writing a book, All Too Well? She is now an author and has written a book called All Too Well, is giving a reading of it that O'Brien's character sees through the window. Oh wow, so it's a real book. Geez, dude, she has an interesting career. She's able to like plug her own, you know what I mean? How many of us have that dream? Like, oh, I want to do a music thing. And then like, oh, I also want to write a book or like be in a movie or all this stuff. But yeah, she's able to do all that. So sometimes I watch her videos and her like, I don't know, just her career or like the respect that her fans give her, and I'm like, that does sound nice, because I also look at a lot of other successful musicians' careers or something, and I'm just like, that sounds fucking awful. But Taylor has it really well, but she's like in a league of her own. There's no artist really out there as successful as Taylor Swift right now. Okay, I'm just trying to find out when All Too Well was actually written. So 2012. Okay, the reason I wanted to look that up is because sometimes people sort of attack me for saying that, you know, so like that last song that I did a reaction to, it was oh my god, what was the name? Wildest Dreams, I think. People, just some people say like that I'm picking on her lyrics when that was from a time when she was that much younger or something. So like, how could you expect her lyrics to be so good like they are now, like on the Folklore and Evermore album? But I feel like the story on this song, that's from 2012. That's almost 10 years ago. Well, I guess it's almost exactly 9 years ago because it's like November and this is October 2012 that it said it was released. I don't feel like that about this song. I don't feel like anything about it was amateur or young or anything, you know? I'd put that right up there with the quality of Folklore and Evermore. To anyone that has given me the criticism of picking on her older songs because she was a younger writer, I don't think that really holds any weight, because this is from that same time period and that songwriting was wonderful. So, I mean, I don't know how old she was. I'm not going to do the math right now, but she was 9 years younger or so, right? Give or take, when those songs are actually written and then produced and recorded. So like, who knows? But roughly it was released that long ago. So yeah, she was always a good songwriter, even that long ago. So don't give her the excuse of having lyrics that really just didn't do it for me. I mean, that's kind of a me thing. It's not a Taylor Swift thing, but you guys are the ones that saying it's a Taylor thing and she was younger. So it's not fair to critique her based on the artist that she was so long ago. She has grown so much, etc., and she has, obviously. But also, that long ago, she wrote that song, and that song is great. All Too Well. Really, really good song. And it's really cool that she's able to repurpose that into like a cool video, break it down and extend it. Yeah, it's just awesome. Because for me, it kind of sucks to think that like, once I write this song, that's it. It's done. Like, what else I don't know, you know, people aren't going to want to see it again or like listen to it again in some reworked way or something. But you know, if I ever have success as a musician, I'll probably look to Taylor Swift and the decisions that she's made, and I'll be like, no, you can do that. You can do that. Instead of thinking only Taylor Swift could do that, it's like, no, you can do that. Why not? And also the thing about doing music or whatever, it's like you can do whatever you want, you know? I mean, if you're trying to have a goal of like maximizing popularity or success or money or something, yeah, maybe you're limiting your options. But if you don't really care about that, you can actually just do whatever you want. I really hope I do more with my music. Honestly, I think I have some awesome songs that I'm just so happy that I wrote those, but it really like weighs on me sometimes that I didn't do more with them, you know? So I'm thinking about shooting a music video and starting a name for myself. I have all these name ideas, you know, for my next project if I really get it off the ground or something. But just for a while, I got good as a musician and as a studio guy, you know, and I have a music studio and stuff. And I just ended up having other musicians come in, and I would help them get their songs to sound really good because that's what I got good at. And, you know, that's a service that other musicians need and want, and I enjoyed it. That's where the immediate money was. It just seemed so risky to like put all your eggs in the musician basket and then try to go on tour and blow up. And it's like, man, if you do, you got to tour the world to make the money. And it's just like, wow, I don't know if that life's for me, you know, but at the same time, I have like no closure with my musical ambitions, except for the fact that I've been sitting on these ideas so long that it's like, well, I'm probably never going to do anything with them. But that's not really a satisfying sense of closure, is it? So we'll see what I do. Yeah, we'll see what I do. I'm sure if I do something, I'll share it here, because you guys appreciate my feedback and thoughts on this stuff, and you guys are a cool audience. I think the Taylor Swift fans definitely have an appreciation for better lyrical content and songwriting than a lot of the pop music out there. I'm not going to name any names, but you know how it is. So many songs on the radio are like, you know, and then some mumble auto-tune rap on top of that, and it's just so popular for some fucking reason. And anytime you hear somebody like playing music loud enough from their car for you to hear it from like a mile away, it's always trap music, dude. So why don't you guys do your part and play some Taylor Swift and just blast that shit? Fucking, you hear somebody turn up the trap music and they think it's cool to turn it up. Turn up Taylor Swift even louder and be like, Taylor Swift is a better songwriter and a better musician, and her career is so much bigger than whoever trap artist you're listening to is. So just turn that shit up. You don't need to be confident that your music is worth turning up just because it slaps, dude, and it has a lot of bass and auto-tune mumble rap, dude. If anything deserves to be turned up, it's this, compared to the trap stuff. Like, this is ridiculous. I mean, yeah. Anyway, this got into a whole tangent. If you like the content, you know what to do. If you want to see more of this and more of me, just like, subscribe, and comment. I'll try to reply to the comments as much as I can, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you guys want me to see or hear, and just maybe I'll do it. I'm really glad that I checked this one out, and thanks for sharing it again. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That was a fun time. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so let's see if we can do it. I just want to see what happens after that, and maybe I'll start showing you guys my studio a little more. Turn the camera around, and you guys can, you know, see that in the background instead of these girls, Pink Floyd girls. God, just a bunch of butts in the background. Okay. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Thanks for watching.